Hello everybody and welcome back. On the last episode this week of Heroes of the Storm, we're going to be playing some Uther and you're going to love it, I promise. Feel free to leave a comment however you feel about the video, like and subscribe your heart out, and we'll be back next week. But today's team comps are going to be Zeratul, Falstad, Uther, Kel'Thuzad, and Chromie versus Testador, Gul'dan, Zagara, Butcher, and Anduin. Neither team with a tank, but that's okay because we're big fat Uther who just got a health nerf, and that probably won't be the most fun thing in the universe. Apart from his base health nerf of 25, which actually equates to like a 12% health nerf, I think, we also got some buffs to our W, which is Holy Radiance. If you are not aware, this is the straight line skill shot ability that is going to heal and deal damage for whatever it hits. And it's Uther's only form of AoE healing. So, it's good. It's not the greatest. Certainly a very middle of the row ability. But what they did was reduce the cooldown from 12 to 10, which is, was that like a 20% decrease? And then they changed the mana cost from 70 to 50, which is huge because wasting mana on your only AoE heal is pretty nuts. But the decrease in the mana cost is really helpful in keeping your mana bar up because Uther does have some serious mana problems if you are not building the E talent at level 1, which we are not. So we're actually taking the level 1 Wave of Light talent. It's a quest. It's not really a quest that you care a whole lot about completing. Obviously, it's good for completing. It's going to increase the duration of the armor of your trait, which is anybody who gets healed gets 25 armor. And it's going to increase that duration by 0.5 seconds. Thank you for that time trap, Chromie. That was fantastic. Yep, there it is. Yeah, the normal duration on Devotion is 2 seconds, so 25 armor for 2 seconds isn't bad, 25 armor for 2.5 seconds, not terrible. And I guess probably the thinking behind it is that since it's an AoE ability, it's going to be slapping a lot of armor on people just by default, so increasing the duration of the armor in an AoE ability is probably pretty strong seeming to the dev team, even though the ability in most uncoordinated scenarios is really difficult to land on multiple people. Think Anna, except easier, but still kind of hard because it's a line, and it's not an especially huge line. It's a pretty short, stubby line. But anyway, that being said, they also changed some of level 16 talents for Uther. So those are going to be Beacon of Light and Tyr's Deliverance. Benediction is 100% dominating this tier because it is so good for setting up Uther's abilities. Beacon of Light, they changed this to give Uther basically the same amount of healing that he is going to do for other heroes. So if he targets someone else, he gets half the healing on top of the healing that they get. At 16, if you use that ability, if Uther heals someone else, he's going to get the exact same amount. And if he's below 50% of his health bar, he is going to get triple that amount. So, right? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Not triple. I couldn't tell you. I haven't actually used the talent yet. It seems really good. 200%, I'm pretty sure is triple, right? I don't know. I don't actually know. But we're going to be taking Tyr's Deliverance. This ability got changed, so what it's going to be doing now is every time that we auto attack a hero, a bad guy, holy shit, hiccups, burps, anything to interrupt my train of thought. A basic attacks against enemy heroes cause Uther's next cast of Holy Radiance to have its damage and healing increased by an additional 10%, stacking up to 4 times. So if we can land a couple autos on people and launch a Wave of Light, it is going to have potentially 40% more healing and damage. So the ability in itself gets a lot of power at 16. I just don't know if it's enough power to compete with Benediction, because Benediction is a rewind. It's an Uther rewind, and Uther's abilities Well, two of them are incredibly worth rewinding a lot. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you decide to play Uther this way, I think they're trying to gear him more to the healing side of things. Give him a little bit of wave clear. Give him a little bit more opportunity to heal, instead of being the kind of off-tank that he is at the moment. Yeah, I'm not sure if they succeeded very well at that, because I felt extremely tanky and frontliney in this game still, even with the health nerf, and even without Benediction, and building full hammer. But anyway, as a healer, I think he's okay. Uther and Rhegar are the two healers that I was actually playing with at the early outset of Heroes of the Storm, and the only two healers that I could ever really feel confident in, because they're just so simple. Simple characters, I mean, they're all the rage. Oh, I got on the other side of the wall. We're just gonna take some damage and some quest stacks. That's all we can really ask for from that trade. But since both of those healers are so simple, I mean, there's really no better word for it. There's more that you can do with their talent and their kind of play style. So since there's not 5 billion words to read and 100,000 interactions between all these different talents and all these different abilities, you can kind of just use the buttons as you want to, and then the talents are just kind of there to help offset kind of some weaknesses of the character, right? Uther specifically with this build, with the W changes, what we're trying to do is be more of an AoE healer, more of a wave clearing, really support kind of healer, which I don't think Uther is really capable of. Uther really has a hard time saving people also, which is part of the reason that the cooldown from our level 1 talent on our W is really important. Since I haven't talked about the build at all, the passive portion of Wave of Light is that it's going to give us 5 mana back and reduce the cooldown of our W by 0.75 seconds every time it hits an enemy or it heals a friendly. So, if you are damaged as Uther, you're already getting 0.75 seconds of cooldown reduction from the ability, because you're healing yourself no matter what. No matter what you hit, you're always going to heal Uther as long as it's taking damage. And if you can manage to hit maybe 3 or 4 other heroes, whether they're bad or good, you're going to have a pretty decent cooldown reduction on the ability so that you can fling it more. I only hit 1 there, I think. Yeah, it wasn't much. But having that ability up more often is going to be the best way for you to save people with this character, I think. Not only that, he's one of the healers that has cleanse, so he's going to be very good at stopping real hard pick engage kind of comps. And if you take Divine Shield, then obviously you could just completely turn a team fight on its head if it's going all about, oh no, let's go ahead and cleanse him. I'm going to die, but I'm just going to rip everything here. Nice. I was blocked between all of the enemy team, the payload, and those turrets, so my death for an ult and 4 kills is really, really, really good. Uther's trait, also, when he's a ghost, he can heal people, so just hit your Q button, I think it's called Flash Heal, and you just keep healing. You put armor on people, you give them a small heal, it's pretty good. So you're not actually dead when you're playing Uther until you're really dead. Yeah. It's okay to trade Uther. He gets a lot of healing after he goes ghost mode. I'd like to go over here, but my team doesn't seem to be ready to do it. Kel'Thuzad's just leaving, and he didn't pick up the turret. So we just missed the entire window to engage on that samurai. Not my favorite. What is actually happening right now? I have no idea. Nothing makes sense. I'm the healer. I can't keep up with all this shit. But for the rest of the build, you know, cooldown reductions, good at 1. Mana return's always good as well. At level 4, I think it's really up to you what you want to take. I think Holy Shock is very good because it kind of gives you another option to, oh my god. Please leave. Thank you. Okay. Thank God for Cleanse. There was no way he lives through that unless I press all of my buttons. Literally, I want him to go away, and he won't do it. I don't know how to convince him to stop walking forward. Falstad almost dying there, because I don't have any cooldowns yet. Okay, alright. I don't think Falstad's going to stay. I was trying to get in range to hit everybody with that, but it just missed every single person. So, good stuff. Yeah, 4, up to you. Do what you want. Holy Fire's fine. Pursuit of Justice is pretty good. The increased move speed is always good for frontliner characters. Holy Shock is preference. It's never bad. It's never good. Just kind of pick what you want. Obviously, Cleanse is mandatory if you have any CC on the enemy team that you need to get rid of from killing a single target. So that's just how that works. There's really no two ways about it. The other thing I'd consider taking here is Armor of Faith? Yeah, Armor of Faith. Because it reduces the cooldown on your Q pretty substantially if there's any CC on the enemy team. I think that's really the only competition with Cleanse, but that's really only if you're playing 100% frontline Uther and you need to be in front of everybody else on your team. So it's still, like, it's Cleanse. How do you ever compete with Cleanse? It's better than basically every other ability in the game. At 10, I just love Divine Storm. I don't think there's ever been a game where I've said, I really want Divine Shield. You know? I really, really want Divine Shield. Damn. Exploded into infinity and beyond. Truly. Whew. My god. Alright. I almost cleansed him. He blinked out of the cleanse, but he didn't want to be there. Nobody wanted to be there, honestly. Not even the enemy team. That's why they're all dead. Just ended it all. They're like, we don't like this part of the map. We're going to go sit in the bubble until it's time to die. And there you have it. At level 13, I've got Blessed Champion. This is a defensive tier. Ultimately, it's kind of up to what makes the most sense against the enemy team. I think Blessed Champion's probably the way to go in general scenarios. If you can't make a pick, or if you don't need anything for either of the other ones. Well Met is going to be reducing damage and movement speed on whoever you drop hammer on by 25%. I was hoping we could kill it before we wasted damage from the objective on it, but I guess not. So it's good, especially if there's a dive character jumping onto your backline and you need to just sit him down and have a stern talking to with him. Spell Shield. At Spell Shield, like, do you really need an excuse to use it? There's a Pyroblast. There's a combo from... Oh my god. You really just sat there this entire time. Alright, well. And there you have it. The enemy team has given up on life. 16 is Tears Deliverance. We talked about it earlier. Seems good. I can't say auto-attacking heroes is the most simple thing I've ever done, but it does synergize really well with Blessed Champion and the healing. You do get the healing no matter what you're auto-attacking. Big Maw stopping both of us from killing Tacit are really unfortunate. I'm just going to put the turret in there to block some shots in case we want to keep walking forward. I really want to, yes. Okay, well, my turret's dead, so now we just punch the wall, get some healing back, and we take the kills. But anyway, yes, Tears Deliverance and Blessed Champion work really well together, on top of being really good with the cooldown reduction from the ability at level 1. It's fun. I like the synergy. At 20, I took Divine Storm, so I'm going to take Divine Hurricane, which is going to reduce the cooldown by half and increase the radius by 50% as well. It's just too good to pass up. The ability becomes this insanely huge nuke of a stun, and if the enemy team isn't paying attention to where you as Uther, the healer, are walking, they're going to get ultra fucked. So it's pretty much push R, enemy team sits down, or goes to pee, or gets some coffee, or just takes their hands off their keyboard, and the game's over. It's gonna get feared again because the enemy team are really scared of me just walking towards them. I'm gonna get stunned for that, but the Chromie is going to again save me with that time trap. Really awesome stuff there. Fantastic Chromie player. And the enemy team is just going to fall over, trying to fight us down 16. I'm pretty amazed I lived, but with a 4-level lead, I'm also kind of not. So. Again, even if I die, I keep healing people. There's no reason for me not to just run hard at the enemy team with all that I've got. 183 healing per auto attack anytime that we healed with our Q. Really good. Seems really good. It kind of distributes the healing to anybody in the circle who needs it. So, at least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. And nearby, yeah. So anybody in that circle, anytime that we auto attack, we're healing everybody in it, which is something, or a reason that you want to just keep auto attacking with Uther, keep tanking with Uther, keep running at the front line with Uther. He's ready to do all sorts of hardened battle healing. But that's Uther in a nutshell. I don't know if these changes are going to necessarily push him super hard into the solo healer slot, because, I mean, it's like fucking dicks. I didn't have chat on, so I didn't see that line. You're welcome for all the extreme cleanses and shit, though. Yeah, that's. Kel'Thuzad didn't make it up there. He got most of them for being wherever he was all the time. But anyway, back to the build. I didn't get a single kill. Bummer. I participated in more than anybody else, though. 23. You only had 22. What is that? 15 plus 7 is 22. 15, 5 plus 16 is 21. Yeah, it was me. I was involved in the most. Eat a butt, team. Eat a butt. Even though I love you, and you did great. Thank you so much. There's the build one more time. We didn't hit level 20 for the Divine Hurricane, but I already told you why. It's great. Just pick it. It's wonderful. Wave of Light at 1. Holy Shock at 4. Hand of Protection at 7. Divine Storm at 10. Blessed Champion at 13. And Tears Deliverance at 16 with the Divine Hurricane at 20. That'll be it for this week. I'll be back next week to finish some of the bigger changes. Obviously, Chromie is still on the way. Tyrande probably, even though her changes weren't huge. We might try out Blaze again with his new shield buff, even though I think it's still fucking trash. But we'll get there. Feel free to let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one.